Before I let you guys get into this, I want to let you know that this does end up ending before he retires because of a stupid bug that has been going on since this game came out where it locks out the advanced week. So we made it to like his 15th, 16th season in the league. He was in the playoffs. I was trying to advance through and I got locked out of advancing. I spent an hour trying to figure out how to do it, and there's no fix yet, even though this game has been out since last August. So a bug ruined the franchise. That's gonna be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm very sorry that it's messed up and that I didn't get to finish his career. This is the second time this happened, because it happened with Big Ben too. Shout out this man, the humble 1B, for suggesting this video. What's going on, you big beautiful bastards? Welcome back to another career resimulation. Today, as I just said, we have Dan Marino suggested in the comments. When I read this comment, he unlocked like a whole hidden spot in my memory bank about like players I missed, because there's so many other legendary quarterbacks I could do. He said Marino, and all of a sudden my mind just started going. I'm like, I forgot like Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw, guys like that. There's a couple other ones. Oh, John Elway. As you can see, he's an 80 overall. I had fully planned on putting him as the #1 pick until I was like looking stuff up. He was a 27th pick in the draft, so I kind of just dropped him down to 6. He might be the highest overall, and he might still go before the other guys, but I figured that would be a good spot to put him. We also are on the Seahawks. As of right now, they have the #1 overall pick, so of course that's the team we got to start on. Always got to start at the beginning of the draft and simulate through. He'll probably go in the top 10, hopefully not to Seattle. We're into teams that all have a quarterback at this point. Dan Marino goes to the Green Bay Packers. Oh my god, Aaron, you're fucking gone. I didn't see that one coming. I figured they'd have Aaron Rodgers, you know, they were going to rock with that. They weren't going to take Dan Marino, but Dan Marino's a Green Bay Packer where he's going to team up with Christian Watson, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. Pretty crazy. If you've never looked at Dan Marino's numbers compared to other quarterbacks at the time, this man was in a league of his own. He had a season, I think it was 1984, where he had like 5,050 yards, 48 touchdowns, yet this man never won a Super Bowl, which is so crazy to think about. Okay, Aaron's gone, so that works out. Dan Marino's the starter. Aaron Jones, Nelson Aguilar's here, Christian Watson, Julio Jones is the 3rd string receiver. There's Romeo Dubes and Robert, or is it Robert Tonyan? I think it's Robert. This is a really good team to go into his rookie season with too. They can make the playoffs in his first season. Hopefully a majority of these guys stay here for his whole career. Obviously Julio won't. Julio's probably going to play this one season and be gone. Rookie season, they do end up making the playoffs. They go 9-8, win the division. They play the Cowboys in the first round, which is a little bit of a scary game because this Cowboys team is really good in Madden for some reason. Dan kind of popped off. 4,800 yards, 36 touchdowns, a 112 passer rating. That's got to be rookie of the year worthy, right? Oh, he was 8th in MVP voting. That is 100% NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. There he is. He beats out Hendon Hooker and Quentin Johnston. So here we go. Rookie season, first playoff game. I think Dan lucked out. He got drafted to a team with a scheme that actually fits his player style pretty perfectly. With 3 minutes to go here, they're up 7. Dan completes a big pass too, gets him down the field. It looks like they're going to score again, and that should all but do it. They are going to the divisional round in Dan's rookie season. 52-45 is the final score. This would be an iconic game to watch. Dan as a rookie, 447 and 4 touchdowns. Dak threw for 463 and 5 touchdowns. And they now play a team that passed on him in the draft, and the Carolina Panthers, who went 11-6. Who is their quarterback, I wonder? So Andy Dalton has the Panthers in the divisional round at 11-6, because yeah, Andy Dalton is the red rifle. He's just that guy. This team has a thing for gingers too. You got Andy Dalton and Cooper Rush. Is Dan too good? They're killing them. It is 31-9, and that's game. I might have made Dan too good, but that's fine. Let Dan just run the league, honestly. Dan's got a team around him, so I'm not surprised. 299 and 2 touchdowns that game. Dalton had 214 and no touchdowns. Defense kind of shut him down a little bit. That red rifle wasn't shooting very straight. So they're playing the Commanders in the championship game, who have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. This is always my favorite part of this, is just seeing the random players that end up places. He's also already the team's 3rd best player. We haven't even got to see him play yet. We're in the NFC Championship game. He hasn't played a snap, and I'm waiting for him to show up here because this guy commented on the last video saying that I got the face mask wrong on Barry, which I did, but I made sure I got it right on Dan, and they don't even show him there. Thank you for making me look dumb. So after dominating the whole way here, they are down 10 with 30 seconds left and the clock runs out. They end up falling in the NFC Championship game in his rookie season. Tough way to go out, but he did dominate the whole way here and had 332 and 2 touchdowns still. Going into his sophomore season, he's up to an 86 and has unlocked his X Factor. Christian Watson's up to an 82 and is now receiver 1 over Nelson Aguilar. Julio dropped to receiver 4 at a 74 overall, and Romeo Dubes is still here as receiver 3 now. Robert Tunyon's also still here. Aaron Jones is still here, but they did lose A.J. Dillon, but they got Anthony Madison. Year 2, Dan leads them to the number 1 seed in the NFC at 12-5. They had the number 13 ranked passing offense though, so he might not have been the number 1 quarterback, but he had to have still done pretty good. Yeah, that's great stats. 45 touchdowns is wild, along with 4,700 yards. Yearly awards, he moved up 1 spot in the MVP race to 7th instead of 8th. They're playing the 49ers in Lambeau in the divisional round to open up their playoff run. So again, absolutely dominating their way through the divisional round. I think they won 41-24 was the final score. Marino threw 298 and 2 touchdowns. Purdy threw 312 and 2 touchdowns, but Marino completed more of his passes. Aaron Jones also had 16 carries for 116, as you can see there, so that probably played a pretty big role. So basically, this is round 2 for the 2nd season in a row. In his 2nd season in the league, they were playing the Washington Commanders in the conference championship game. That actually just said Tua is the quarterback of the Commanders now, not even Jacoby Brissett, but they're gonna win by 7. They were just up by 14. The Commanders scored, got the ball back, and then couldn't score again. Dan Marino is going to a Super Bowl in his 2nd season in the NFL after throwing for 359 and 4 touchdowns, and Jacoby Brissett got thrown to the side by the Commanders after going to a Super Bowl for Tua, who ends up losing. Dan Marino gets his shot at his first ring against a team that lost 4 Super Bowls in a row in the Buffalo Bills. There you can see basically the same top 3 the Bills have right now: Trey White, Josh Allen, and Stephon Diggs. So here we go. Early in the 4th, they are down by 2 because they missed an extra point and then couldn't get a 2-point conversion, so they're down 31-29 with 5.5 minutes to go in the 4th. This is our first opportunity to see Dan Marino play. As you can see right there, I finally get to show you guys. I tried to get his attributes, or like his jersey and stuff, dead on. Not attributes, more like his physical appearance. Here we go again. He's from the shotgun, dropping back to pass. Oh my god, Dan, you threw that right to Trey. Trey White has 3 picks. What the fuck? Defense holds him to a field goal. There is actually still a chance. It's a 5-point game with 2 minutes left. Dan, this is your opportunity. Do not throw it away. Here we go, Dan. You got a minute and a half. You're dropping back. Aaron Jones. Okay. Tremaine Edmonds was almost on his ass, but that's good. That's a first down. Dropping back to pass again. They're running time off the clock, running no huddle. He's got him wide open right there. I think that's Aguilar again. Okay. 294, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's dropping back to pass again. A minute on the clock. Rolling out. Chucking it. Oh, Tunyon with a great toe tap catch on the sideline down to the 3. Shotgun takes the snap. He's dropping back. Aaron Jones. Oh my god, he was wide open. Nelson Aguilar just got 3 passes in a row to clutch up this game, and that's going to be the lead, and it's not looking good. That is field goal range. That's a penalty. They move back 7. Oh my god. The kick was blocked. 51-yard field goal was blocked. Oh my god, I wish I could have watched that. I didn't think they were kicking the field goal yet. I thought they would have waited till 3 seconds left, but they didn't. But Dan, just to avoid anything bad happening, I'm jumping in and kneeling with him so we can watch the celebration. Just like that, unlike his real-life counterpart, Dan Marino wins a Super Bowl just 2 years into his NFL career, beating the Bills by 1. Look at him. He's so hyped. He doesn't even know what to do. He's like, this is my 2nd career, man. I'm not supposed to be here. Carrying the Lombardi down the line. Marino gets his hand on it. He's going to be up there on the podium, I'm sure. He should be Super Bowl MVP. I don't know. The 3 picks might ruin that for him. Look at him. He's so hyped. Marino threw 306 and 3 touchdowns. Outplayed Josh to win the game. And there it is. Super Bowl MVP is quarterback Dan Marino of the Green Bay Packers. The man is now a Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP, something he never achieved in his real-life career. He does it 2 seasons into the resim. Following the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP for Marino, he's up to a 92. Christian Watson's up to an 84. Romeo Dubes is now the 2nd receiver. Anthony Madison is now the starting running back as Aaron Jones is left in free agency, and Robert Tunyon has also regressed down to a 77. Nelson Aguilar is also down to receiver 3, and I'm assuming Julio Jones retired finally. But they did get him a ring. I just thought about that. They got Julio a ring there too. We'll see how bad the loss of Aaron Jones hurts this team too, because I think that might have a bit of an impact on how the offense performs. Not as big an impact as I thought. They end up winning the division again at 10-7. They play Philly, who, if you can see in the top, they just lost to in the final week of the season. season. Oh my God. Dan had 5,300 yards and 46 touchdowns with a 115 passer rating. He's got to be the league MVP. He's not. He's third behind Tua and Lawrence Clifford. Also, the Eagles aren't rocking with Jalen Hurts. They have Frank Sears at quarterback. Bro, playoff Marino's a different breed. They just won 24-6 in the wild card round and are moving on. We've only got to watch him play in the Super Bowl because they just blow him out. Why was Kevin Webb in there? What the hell? Frank Sears got hurt. I have injuries turned off. Okay, Madden. Yeah, fine. It happens like that. 310, 2 touchdowns, and a pick for Dan. They play the Giants in the divisional round, whose starting quarterback is Lamar Jackson. They didn't want Vanilla Vic anymore. They're down 3 with a minute and a half left. They have the ball at the Giants 13. I was kind of just letting them ride down the field, and then I was going to jump in because I don't want to keep jumping in on all these divisional round and wild card games. Christian Watson not in the game this time. Under center, obviously. Okay, never mind, not obviously. It's a handoff, and Anthony Madison is going to... Oh, I thought he was going to pull him in. 307 and 3 touchdowns for Dan, though, with another conference championship on the line. It's now 2nd and goal. Again, dropping back to pass. He's got nowhere to go with the ball yet. Throws it to the guy running backwards, and they lose 5 yards. What is that? Don't block it. God, don't block it. They didn't block it. Okay, we're good. And the Giants are going right downfield, potentially getting into field goal range, and they don't make the field goal. So now it's overtime. Green Bay gets the ball first. They have to punt. The Giants have the ball and kick a field goal to win. That is game over. They're going home in the divisional round. Lamar threw 305 and 4 touchdowns. Marino threw 301 and 3 touchdowns. Basically the same stats, just Lamar had an extra touchdown and 4 more yards. Going into year 4, he's now up to a 95. Madison's up to an 82. Tunyon went back and up an overall to a 78. Christian Watson's up to an 86, but also lost his gold. And it looks like Romeo Dubes left. And it finally happened. In year 4, they missed the playoffs, going 6-11, but still had the number 5 ranked passing offense, but the number 29 ranked overall offense. Marino threw 4,931 touchdowns. Big decline on the touchdowns. Definitely not an MVP season. So moving on to year 5, which should be the final year of his rookie contract, assuming the team picked up his 5th-year option, which I almost guarantee you they did. So there we have it. Going into year 5, he's now a 97. Madison's up to an 83. Christian Watson's up to an 87. Darby, I think, was a 75 last year, so he's up to a 76. And Tunyon has officially been downgraded to the 2nd-string tight end, where we have Little now as the starter. Almost the same team they came in with last year, so not sure if we'll have any different results, unless Marino again puts the team on his back and carries them all the way there. No better results this year. They go 5-12, the 16th ranked passing offense, so the offense even declined a little bit, which is a little surprising. Marino has his worst year so far, which still by numbers is like a pretty good quarterback season, other than maybe the touchdowns. His rookie contract should be up now, so he has the chance to leave here, but he most likely won't because he is the franchise quarterback and they get the bag thrown at him. Look at Jalen Hurts and Lamar, who both just became the highest 2 paid players in NFL history. And as you can see, there he is, still here, a 97 overall. Is this Michael Carter? So Anthony Madison's gone. They changed running backs again to Michael Carter. Christian Watson's still here. They drafted this Wilkins guy. Darby's still a 2nd-string receiver, and Little is the starting tight end. The season did go a little better, I will say. They went 9-8. They didn't make the playoffs, but 9-8 is better than 5-12, and the passing offense is back up to 5th, so Marino had a good season again. Oh yeah, 4,932 touchdowns. Again, the touchdowns are a little low, but the yards is way up there. Maybe they made some big free agent pickup this year. That would really help out the team. Marino's up to a 99. They have a 73 overall running back. Watson's an 85. Little's up to an 80, and Wilkins is now the 2nd receiver at a 79. Year 7, yet again missing the playoffs. They go 4-13 and have their worst season yet with the 22nd ranked passing offense, one of the worst teams in the league. Marino has 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns still, so still a pretty good year out of him. It's just, yeah, 73 overall running back who led the team with 690 rushing yards. He didn't have much to work with. Christian Watson and him are just struggling here. That is one of the most expensive contracts we've seen. He did become the highest paid player in the league, I think. $45.5 million and $48.1 million over the next 2 years. So going into this year, he is a 98. He's regressed in overall. Now Wilkins is up to an 82 and a gold. Watson's an 85. Little's also up an overall into a gold, so it's getting better around him, and they have a 74 rated running back now. This is not the year. They go 5-12, but the 4th rated passing offense. So again, Dan's doing numbers, but nobody else is doing anything. 5,100 yards and 34 touchdowns. Yeah, Dan's doing numbers. Where is the team? It is year 9. He is still a 98. The running back is up to a 77, but lost his silver. Elkins has taken over Christian Watson as the #1 receiver, and we lost Little and now have Haskins Haskins, who's actually a better tight end. So hopefully they can do something. How does the talent around him get better, but the passing offense gets worse and they go 6-11? 4,547 touchdowns, second in the NFL. Like, he's trying, but nobody around him wants to try. He was 4th in MVP voting this year despite the team going 6-11. Year 10, he's back up to a 99. Our boy Craig is still a 77 and may have peaked at that point. Wilkins is up to an 87 and Haskins is an 84. And the saddest thing of it all, we lost Christian Watson. He is officially gone. He's probably on another team somewhere where he can be used properly and have a great career. Again, they go 5-12, but the number 2 ranked passing offense this season. So where is Dan at? How's Dan doing? Oh, 5,100 yards and 36 touchdowns. He's got to be up here in the race. Probably didn't win it. He's all the way down in 9th. Never mind. He's not up there in the race. On to year 11, which I think that should have been the last year of his contract for the second time. So now he has the opportunity to leave following the 7 years of struggle this team has had. Year 11, he's now up to a 97. Craig didn't hit his ceiling at 77 and is now a 79. Wilkins is an 89. They have Weatherspoon now, and Haskins is an 85. What'd I tell you? Year 11 was the year. They're finally back. They win the division at 9-8. Dan had a good year with 4,700 yards and 36 touchdowns. They're playing the Seahawks in the wild card round, another team that passed on him 11 years ago, so I doubt he's really mad about it anymore. Defense stopped him. The score's 42-38. That should run out the clock, and they're going back to the divisional round. Every time they make it, they go, and Dan threw for 402 and 5 touchdowns. What a guy. What a fucking dog. Tampa Bay, this is a first. They didn't play Tampa Bay at all in those first 3 years. They're 11-6. We're playing in Tampa, I think. They've been winning the whole game. They were just up by 4. It was 26-22, and all of a sudden they let up a touchdown with 12 seconds left. So now let's see if Dan can do the impossible. He's got all 3 timeouts to work with, but realistically you only have about 2 plays here, so you got to get into Hail Mary range here, and you don't. You throw a dump off pass. So now you got to chuck up a deep one. He's in the shotgun. This is obviously, I think, a Hail Mary. He's just got to chuck it, and he does. He's got a bit of a cannon, and it's going to be incomplete, and that is game, and they're going home in the divisional round after an 8-year playoff drought finally ends. Going into his 12th season in the league, he is technically the highest paid player in the NFL right now. $51 million meant to be made this year and $54.2 in the next. So that means going into year 15, he will be able to be a free agent. He has regressed down to a 95. Craig is up to an 81 and a silver. Wilkins is all the way up to a 91. Bruce is a 77. He wasn't the backup receiver last year. Year 12, they go 11-6. One of their best seasons so far. They still don't win the division though because the Bears went 12-5. Dan ends up with another 5,000 yard season and 36 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to be MVP worthy. Playoff Dan is actually different. 34-13. They end up winning in the wild card round, getting their revenge. Dan threw for 257 and 2 touchdowns. What the hell is this team? So for some reason, the Saints relocated and became the Portland Snowhawks. That logo's actually kind of cold though. So the Snowhawks kind of bullied Dan in year 12 as they're down 31-17 after just scoring, and they end up going home again in the divisional round. Dan threw 336 and 2 touchdowns. The final year of his contract, year 13, he's regressed down to a 93. Wilkins is now an X factor with a 92. Craig is up to an 84. Bruce went up and overall, and Haskins is still getting better. So the offense is good. Hopefully they can make the playoffs again. They go 9-8 in year 13. Missed the playoffs barely though, because 9-8's still pretty good. They were second in the division, 1 win behind the Vikings. Marino throws for 5,200 and 44 touchdowns, which means he might be MVP because yards was second and touchdowns was first, and he's not MVP. Ray Brown is. Dan Marino is somehow 4th in a season like that where he did everything. Dan did re-sign on a 1-year deal worth $46 million going into year 14. It's only a 1-year deal though, which is kind of strange as he's a 92. Craig is up to an 86. Wilkins is up to a 93. Bruce is now an 80, and Haskins regressed 3 overall. Year 14 is their best year by a mile. They go 15-2, win the division, get the NFC #1 seed, #1 in offensive points per game, #1 in passing offense. Dan Marino throws for 5,300 yards and 50 touchdowns, 4th in passer rating. That's got to be the MVP. It took him 14 seasons, but Dan Marino is finally the NFL MVP. Those are some crazy numbers. That's the best season he's had. That's the best season really any quarterback's had in any of these sims. Here in the divisional round, they end up playing the Giants, who I think their quarterback was Lamar the last time we played him. I doubt he's still here. I don't think he should be, unless he's just really old and still grinding it out. They were down 31-14. It's all of a sudden 31-24. They're at the Giants 7 with 6 minutes left. They have a chance to make an amazing comeback and move on to the conference championship. So let's see if Dan can put one in the end zone here from the 7. He's under center right now. Might end up handing this one off. He's not. He's dropping back to pass over the middle. He's wide open and he's in. I think that's, yeah, that's Wilkins. I couldn't remember his name for a second. I almost said Watkins. Got the ball back. It's still a tight tie game, just under 4.5 minutes to go. Again on the Giants side of the field. He's lining up under center. They can hand the ball off here, run out some clock, and it is a pitch. And Kayvon Thibodeau just read that, but got shoved to the ground. He broke another one. You're just losing more yards. In the shotgun again, this has got to be a pass. You can't hand this off. 5-man blitz. They're coming around the edge. He gets it out to Gary in the flats, and it just doesn't go anywhere. Dan Marino has 334 and 3 touchdowns. I just called him Gary. It's actually Craig. Marino and them had to punt it away. The Giants went down, scored a field goal. Marino has the ball back with like 30 seconds left in the game with a chance to tie. They have one timeout to get into field goal range. He's dropping back to pass a big blitz on the run to the dump off. 20 seconds. You have like 15 left. You're running play action over the middle. It's caught. That's actually into field goal range. Oh my God, they take the timeout. The kick is going to be good. Nice. The Giants happily take it to OT. They get the ball first. They're putting a drive together down the field and into the end zone. 3rd and 10, down 7. They need a score. What kind of magic does he have here? He's dropping back to pass over the middle, wide open. Great play. He takes a snap, dropping back, quick throw, good play for the first down. They're almost in field goal range, but a field goal does nothing for you. I don't even know why it's showing that line. They haven't handed the ball off once here. I'm kind of surprised. There he is again, wide open on the comeback route. I think that's Wilkins again, isn't it? 2nd and 10, they finally tried to run the ball and lost a yard. Dropping back again over the middle, and he threw it right to the safety. Is that Xavier McKinney still? No, okay, it's Forbes. I don't know who it is. And the Giants end up knocking him out in the divisional round after Dan Marino chokes and throws a pick. He re-signs on a second one-year deal worth $47.5 million going into his 15th season. He's up to a 90, still has his X Factor. Craig is up to an 87. Wilkins is still an X Factor, up to a 93. And now they have McMath. They're the #1 seed for the 2nd year in a row with the 2nd ranked total offense and 4th ranked passing offense. Dan is keeping them afloat out here. Almost 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns this year. That honestly could be enough for another MVP. Dan Marino just won back-to-back MVPs. Now passing his real-life self with 2 MVPs instead of just 1. Now, he already passed himself in real life with Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVPs by just having 1. So here we go. The Falcons in the divisional round. Their best player, the cornerback named Gordon Drake. He's going through years and years of 1-year deals right now, so I'm wondering if he's about winding down as the starter, even though he's a 90 overall. With a minute and a half left, they got the ball back in a tie game. They just can't win these games convincingly like they did the first 2 years. They were blowing everybody out all the way to the conference championship the first 2 seasons. That was the last time out for Atlanta, so they can run the clock basically down to nothing before kicking this field goal. And it is another handoff up the middle, and Craig has a first down to basically ice the game. Breaking tackles. Goddamn, Craig. That's going to do it. They're going to the conference championship game. He's got the Troy Polamalu hair, takes the snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Let's go. They're going back to the conference championship. And in the NFC Championship game, it is the Carolina Panthers, a familiar face from the past. In his 15th season, after a rough road to get here, they blow out the Carolina Panthers and are going back to the Super Bowl after winning 31-13. It might have been more. They might have scored at the end. 41-13. Okay. Potentially could win a Super Bowl here and walk off into the sunset. They play the Jaguars in his 15th season as a 90 overall. Let's see what Dan Marino can do. Defense came up big, forced another punt after the awful sack, and now it is still a 4-point game with a minute and a half to go from their own 20, an 80-yard drive to become a 2-time Super Bowl champ. Clock stops with a minute 16 left in the shotgun again. He's going to be in the shotgun this whole drive. Again, dropping back to pass over the middle. What a dime doing between 2 defenders. He's again dropping back to pass. Over the middle on the run. Oh my God, Dan just sold the Super Bowl. Dan sold the Super Bowl in the end. Oh my God. For the 2nd time in his career, he has multiple interceptions in the Super Bowl, including one to choke the game away, almost like he did last time, but he clutched up in the end the last time. Dan, at 37 years old, re-signs on another 1-year deal in Green Bay, this time worth $38.8 million. He's regressed all the way down to an 85. McMath is up to an 85. Wilkins may have peaked at a 93. Craig declined to an 85, and Haskins declined another overall to an 84. They make it back to the playoffs for the first time in 2 years, though. They're not the #1 seed, as they're 3rd in the division at 11-6 because the Lions went 13-4 and Vikings went 14-3. Dan had 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns. He may have just won 3 MVPs in a row. He was 4th. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. He won 2 in a row. It's fine. Potentially his last run at a Super Bowl here, so let's see what the team can put together for him. I think they're just a better wild card team. It was just 34-10. It's 41-26, 41-33. The game's over and the Packers winner going on to the divisional round, as Dan Marino probably threw 5 touchdowns. I lied. 292 and 3. So a bug ruined the franchise. That's gonna be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm very sorry that it's messed up and that I didn't get to finish his career. This is the second time this happened, because it happened with Big Ben too. I wish EA would get their shit together. I can't believe this is still a bug 8 months, 9 months into the game being out, but thank you guys for watching. It was a fun one while it lasted, and with that out of the way, I will see you guys later. Peace out.